Well, it's Tuesday night, so we're back again to talk. Hey, it's a little bit far off as far as the NFL draft is concerned. We don't have to do anything really until April, but fellas, it's going to be here before you know it. The college season is about halfway over. The pro season is about halfway over. I got Joey Clinkscales below me. I got Vincent Turner. I'm Brian LeBel. Two more prospect profiles. A couple of guys. One guy who's generating a lot of buzz right now. He's on a very good football team. He's moving up draft boards. It's been a lot of fun to watch him. And, our first prospect this week, we're going to talk a little bit about Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback out of Indiana, the upstart, the shock the world, the maybe run the table Indiana Hoosiers, who everybody just kind of seems to be all gung-ho about. Kirk Cinnetti's done a great job with those guys up in Indiana. Joey, I'm going to start with you. We talked about Fernando. He seems to have a lot of the intangibles, the size stuff, right? We talk about a quarterback. He's a big dude. He's got a big frame. He's got a strong arm. Depending on which draft board you look at, a lot of people kind of moved him up. He wasn't in the picture at all a month or two ago, especially when the season started, but now he's third or fourth in the quarterback rankings. Joey, what are your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza?
Well, first of all, he is a big, strong kid. I mean, he's like 6'5", 220, 225. He's a transfer. He was at Cal Berkeley last year, I believe. And actually, his brother's on the team. He's a quarterback as well. But it's a lot to like about him, starting with the size. He's got prototypical NFL size for a quarterback. He's got a good arm. I don't think he's got a great arm, but he's got a good arm. He plays with really good anticipation on deep balls and on crossing routes. He does that well. A little bit of he's got a compact delivery, so he's got some things you like. And then at other times you see him shorten that delivery, so it's more of a push delivery, which I guess is a good thing. That the fact that he can change up delivery depending on what's going on. He doesn't necessarily throw on different platforms like you see some of the other athletic quarterbacks do. He doesn't necessarily do that. I don't see him as a great athlete. He's definitely a pocket type passer. Now he'll get out, he'll scramble a little bit when he has to get out of trouble. But he's not going to be one of these quarterbacks out of the past two drafts that can really win with his feet. That's not what he does. But what he is he is very, very accurate with the football. And you don't have to have a big arm to be accurate with the football because he's got great ball placement. He's smart. He's in my mind, the accuracy, the ball placement, the delivery are all things that make a really good quarterback. If I'm comparing him to quarterbacks that I've seen recently, he's a mixture of, in my opinion, of a Kirk Cousins and a Mac Jones. He's kind of a mixture of those two guys. He's taller than both of them, but he's got the play skill and demeanor of both of those guys, in my opinion. The thing I would suggest that he works on most, and I think he's done some of that, is his footwork. His lower body will get in bad positions sometime, and he'll have to throw, from awkward stances. So he needs to work on his footwork and his balance to make sure he's really balanced when he's throwing down the field and when he's throwing under pressure. But you look at his numbers from an accuracy perspective, from a ball placement perspective, from just being able to get the ball down the field vertically. I mean, he's good at all that. So the fact that he's moving up draft boards, I'm not surprised. Again, coming from Cal, they were just okay last year, and then he transferred, and he's taking the personality like the whole team of their coach, and it's a winner. Hey, Google him.
That seems to be the mantra up there in Indiana right now. The number 2 ranked Hoosiers, Vincent. He's got 1,755 yards, 21 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Very, very clean as far as the turnover interception ratio. The yards are good. Completion percentage is good. And Indiana's winning. Your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza? Vincent, your audio seems to be not working. Here, we'll see if we can get that situated real quick. Joey,
while we're waiting, I know Vince was going to say everything I said.
100% agrees. He agrees with
He's gonna
everything.
agree with
Thumbs
me
up.
100%.
Yes. Yeah. Now, Joey, it's one of those things. Could it be, listen, maybe there's nothing too flashy about it, but the numbers are there, right? And they're doing it at Indiana. They don't have any 4 or 5 stars on this roster. None. So the receiving core he's throwing to right now isn't going to be anywhere near the guys he's going to be throwing to at the next level. Is that something that maybe helps his case a little bit when you're kind of looking at, a scouting process? And I understand you have to go through the combine, you'll have his pro day and all that other stuff. And I know a lot of teams will wait for that because they want to see if he can roll out to his left and throw the ball 70 yards downfield on a rope. But that's got to be something that, teams are talking about. Teams are looking at it and saying, hey, he's only going to have better weapons around him. And he's doing a lot with the little bit that he has right now.
Well, that's true too. I think all that's will play a factor. But let me give you an example, kind of the other way around. You remember Matt Leinart when he came out of USC?
Yes, sir.
He had a ton of talent around him. Okay, and actually Matt Leinart won a Heisman Trophy, and he was probably the least talented guy of everybody they had around him. Now this kid, on the reverse of that, he doesn't have those same players that Leinart had around him. He doesn't have the most talented group, but those guys play for him. They play great. And this guy's probably as talented as Leinart was, especially from a ability to throw the ball down the field.
Well, Vincent, if you got your mic working, I'd love to have your thoughts on Fernando Mendoza as far as a quarterback, as far as a prospect, as far as an NFL team maybe taking a risk on him.
Can y'all hear me?
We can, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. As I was saying, Fernando Mendoza, Christopher Columbus High School out of Miami, a school that produced Alex Rodriguez, Mario Cristobal, Alonzo Highsmith, and Mike Schuler. So that's telling me the kid is got good common sense because that's one of the top high schools in the Miami area. Am I correct, Joey?
Absolutely.
From an academic standpoint. His father's a doctor, was teammates of Mario Cristobal in high school. So that's telling me something. But when I'm trying to figure out, when he came out of high school, he wasn't really rated high. Yale offered him, and Cal was the only FBS school that offered him. He went to Cal as a redshirt freshman, worked his way up. But last year, he threw for 3,000 yards at the University of California. That's only the 9th time in school history they've had a quarterback to throw over 3,000 yards. And think about Aaron Rodgers went there.
Yeah.
But most of all, as I was mentioning for my mic got muted, I really knew about him last year when Miami played Cal in the late game on ESPN on Saturday night. And I was there to see Cam Ward play. But this young man threw for like 450 yards. And he was very accurate with the football, as Joey said. And that's when I said, okay, this guy's pretty good. And then what really, really turned around for me, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the portal. And when my man Kurt Cinetti got him, I say Indiana's going to rise to another level. And I'm always a big-time game type player. What do players do in big games? Illinois this year came in, I believe, ranked number 9. What did he do? 21 or 23, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns, 91%. They beat Illinois 63-10. As Joey said last week against Michigan State, 24-28, 332. 4 touchdowns, especially coming off that Oregon victory. And one thing to me about great players, remember he threw that pick in the 4th quarter that got Oregon back in the game. Well, what did he did on the assuming possession? He took his team all the way down for the winning touchdown. And one more thing, I heard Joey with his comparisons, but he to me a little like a statue of Carson Palmer.
Okay.
Got a little bit of that in him. But I think this young man is a hell of a football player, and I think we yet to see the best to come because Indiana is going to be in the college football playoffs, and I think he got a lot of good football ahead of him. Back to you, Brian.
Well, it certainly looks like they'll be at least in the Big Ten championship game in Indiana. Joey, I'll ask you one more question on Mendoza. And we talked about Bo Nix on our NFL preview show that we just finished, wrapping up. Maybe he's not the first guy on the board. Maybe he's not the big name. Maybe he's not, the chase guy that everybody's going to want to tank for, that everybody's going to want to come in and save their franchise. But could he be a Bo Nix type player? Could he be a guy with a lot of experience, a lot of yards, a lot of success that maybe it does translate to the next level and it might be something where you kind of find a diamond in the rough?
Well, I think the experience part is a great thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all to have a lot of starts. Coach Parcells, who I used to work for, would always say he wanted a quarterback who was a 3 or 4 year starter, that was a or B student, that did X, Y, Z. I mean, he wanted guys who have been through a lot of fires, and the fact that this kid has done that at Cal, and then he goes to Indiana and lead them to where they're headed is a good thing. Now, he's not a Bo Nix type player. He's got a Bo Nix type resume.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the athletic ability that Bo Nix or Drake May or any of those guys have. But what he can rely on is his size, because he's taller and bigger than all of those guys. This kid's 6'5", those guys are 6'3", 6'4". And obviously the kid at Tennessee is 6'1", 6'2", that came from Miami. But so there's a lot of things he can do to help himself, and he's doing that to the best of his ability, with his ability, his timing, his accuracy, his ball placement, all those things he has in spades. So I think he'll continue to climb up draft boards.
Well, Vincent, his numbers have gotten better. If you go from 23 to 24 to 25, you had an uptick in yards, an uptick in touchdowns. You've had an uptick in completion percentage, and you've had a decrease in interceptions, which, hey, listen, if you're scouting a quarterback, it's trending in the right direction, right? It shows you that this kid's improving, he's getting better, and it's something to build on. Vincent, final thoughts here then on Fernando Mendoza.
I think he's going to keep moving up the draft boards. Like I said, I think he's got a lot of good football left in him. Remember this at Cal. They didn't have a good offensive line last year. He got beat up a lot. So they showed me he had a lot of mental toughness. And he's improved what you just said, Brian, decision making. Read them stats one more time, my brother.
Completion percentage is up every year. Touchdowns are up every year. Interceptions are down. Yards are – it's looking like he threw for 3,000 last year. He's probably looking like he'll finish up just north of 3,000 yards again in the Big Ten. Better competition too. So
I like that final stat that you didn't bring up. That 21 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's a hell of a ratio. Back to you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Fernando Mendoza might be, depending on if you're watching, might be your favorite team's NFL quarterback here in the near future, depending on where he ends up come April in the NFL draft. Another guy who we're going to talk about, Mansoor Delane from LSU, who, man, Joey, we were talking about this. LSU seemingly has a ton of talent, right? Especially offensively, defensively, and it's for whatever reason, they kind of can't put it all together. We've kind of put a little bit on Brian Kelly. Maybe you got to put all of it on Brian Kelly, but Delane has been a very, bright spot on this defense. He was phenomenal. In all of the conference games they've had so far, he's been, seemingly a shutdown corner across the board, depending on who you're looking at and what, scouting website or scouting group you're looking at. He's second or third on most draft boards at the position right now. Give me your breakdown right now, Joey, on Mansoor Delane.
He's a kid that's I think he listed at 6 foot, maybe 195 or so. He has great feet. The things you like about this guy is he's patient when he's impressed. He can stay in phase, running with guys down the field. And when I say stay in phase, what I mean is he can get his hands on them. He can run with them stride for stride down the field, and he'll turn at the last minute to find the ball. Okay. I think he's got like 7 career interceptions, but the thing you like about him is his ability, PBU, his ability to his pass defender, because he gets in position. A guy can be have a step on him on a slant, and you'll see him come in at the last minute, which tells you he's got great short area quickness. He's got great bursts. He's got great acceleration to the ball. And guess what? He does a good job in support. So it's not like he's just a corner defending passes. He will come up and support and make a tackle. Now, he doesn't have to be a great hitter. I mean, he's not one of the best. I've been around 2 really good tacklers at corner in my life that were Hall of Fame corners. And I'm not saying he's those guys, but Darrelle Revis was probably the best tackling corner I've ever been associated with. Rod Woodson was a big corner who could tackle, who eventually played safety. But those guys could really change direction, both of those guys. And this guy, while he's a different body type than both of those guys, This kid has great change of direction. He's got great short acceleration. He's probably going to be a low 4.4 guy, speed wise. Looking at him play, so the speed is not going to be a factor with him. But the things you like to see in the corner, the short burst and acceleration, the change of direction, to be able to put that back foot in the ground and accelerate forward to break things up. He has all of that. So I was really impressed with what I saw in this player.
Well, Vincent, Mansoor Delane, LSU's kind of, listen, season's not over, right? This has got a chance to be a playoff team, but he's got tape now. You got Texas A&M coming up. You got Alabama. They've played against Ole Miss. They've had kind of a gauntlet as far as a schedule. So you're going to kind of see the guys at the quarterback position, at the wide receiver position that you're probably going to be playing against on Sundays and next year and the years to come. Does that help him a lot as far as, listen, because we talk about this all the time with every prospect. It's if you're a Big Ten guy, if you're an SEC guy, you're probably going to get some preferential treatment, or they're going to kind of look at your numbers a little bit differently because it's a lot more difficult to do, to put up big numbers and, to really outshine everybody in that conference because everybody's really, really good. But is that something that helps him out? Is that something that, maybe because, LSU's playing against all these teams, maybe they're not winning as much, but I mean, he's a bright spot and he's put up really good tape.
Well, I'm looking at, they got Texas A&M coming up, right? This Saturday. They got Oklahoma, I believe, left on the schedule with Alabama.
Yep.
If I'm Mr. Delane, I'm saying, hey, man, I got to get myself ready. But I'm saying there's money to be made. Competition is coming. The OJs, money. Hey, man, this is a very good football player. And I'm not going to repeat what Joey said, but I'm going to say this. Versatile kid, can play safety, can play corner. But what I love about him, you don't get a lot of corners, I think, on this level that's physical. This young man is physical, man. Instincts off the charts. And I looked at looked at what he did at Virginia Tech. He started from day one as a true freshman. Played 29 straight games. Played over, 1,800 snaps? Had over 140 tackles at Virginia Tech. Now, Joy, you the expert. That's a lot of tackles for a corner.
Absolutely.
So that's telling me he wants to get in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in his position don't like to play at that level. And then think about this at LSU now. He only been there half a season. He got 28 tackles this year already. 6 pass defense and 1 interception. And the most important thing, he's physical. And it's only one guy. Now, Joy, you've been around some great corners, no question about it. Darrell Reeves and Rob Woodson. But I'm an older guy. I'm 65. Brian, you weren't born at the time, but you can ask your father about this guy. Lim Barney, baby, out of Jackson State. Joey, I know you heard of him. Go back and look at some Lim Barney tape tonight. This young man reminds me of Lim Barney. About the same build, 6'even", 190, kind of not big, but physical and love to get into the mix. Love the young man out of LSU. I wish they was doing better overall. But at the end of the day, this young man is a very good football player at the cornerback position. He's physical. And like Joey said, I'm not trying to agree with Joey and not trying to give you flowers. Even though you've been a high scout, to me, he'll be the first corner off the board when the 2026 NFL draft comes around. And I think Saturday night against Texas A&M, they got 2 real good receivers, Mario Craver and KC Concepcion. That's going to be a real nice battle. Back to you, Brian.
So Joey, it's really, really difficult. You know this. It's kind of tough to break down film for the average person when it comes to cornerback, right? Because the really, really good guys, they don't have highlight tapes, but they have teaching tape, right? You talk about his hips, you talk about his footwork. Now, Delane is a guy who likes to tackle. He likes to stick his nose in things and be disruptive. And he's a guy that he's not afraid to go and make a big hit if there's a bubble screen or if there's a quick hit or something like that. And he's able to limit yards after the catch, which is massive. And again, it's not one of those things where you're going to turn on his highlight tape and say, oh, wow, this kid's, spectacular. He's making interceptions left and right. He's not Tyrann Mathieu, but, I mean, they're not really throwing the ball his way a lot, which as a cornerback, I mean, that's a tremendous compliment, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. And in the NFL, there are ways to gauge what you think this guy is as a player, especially at cornerback. There are a lot of drills that we do that we time drills, and it tests hip flexibility, change of direction, hip turn, his ability to plant and drive on the ball. And this guy, watching him play, he's going to be in the top 5% of all that at any size, because you can see him sink his hip, drop his weight, plant his back foot, drive on the ball. He is so fluid in some of the things that he do that's where he's going to make his money. I mean, he may have 10 more this season. He may have 10 more PBUs. He may not have another interception. He may have 5 balls caught on him by different receivers. But when he goes to the combine, and when those defensive coordinators and defensive back coaches come in and work him out, they're going to see the traits that he has, his skill set, the things that he possesses athletically, and they're going to say, I can win with this guy. I can do X, Y, Z with this guy and win with this guy. So it's not. So the game take for a cornerback is great, but sometime in college you don't get the true feel of what a corner is in college because of the scheme he's running. Now at LSU, they do play a lot of man coverage, which is a great thing. Some corners, some schools you're going to go to, they're going to play mainly zone. So you're not going to have a great feel because anybody can play freaking zone coverage. But this guy will give you his tape will give you a great feel for what he is as a football player. And I don't know if he'll be the first corner taken because I hadn't seen them all. But this kid he's the best corner I've seen so far. And I hadn't seen them all, but he's the best one I've seen so far. So I would be surprised if he's not at least a top 10 pick because everybody needs corners.
I will say, I think the 2 hardest positions to find real game changers, right? Guys that can come in and just start from day one and kind of correct a wrong, as you will, right, on your football team. It's cornerback and it's quarterback, right? Those are the 2 positions where it's the hardest to be able to dissect and to scout to bring somebody in. I think some of that is because of the, some teams that they lack the ability to break down everything and say, hey, it's not necessarily the interceptions. It's not necessarily, the highlight stuff, but it's doing the gritty stuff, which I think Darrelle Revis is a great comp, right? Because it wasn't a ton of interceptions, but they showed the graphics on the screen where they're like, hey, he hasn't given up more than 4 catches in 2 months, right? He's shutting down Randy Moss. He's shutting down Chad Johnson. Vincent, we talked about the gauntlet of the schedule that LSU has in the SEC. Is Delane one of those guys where you think at the next level, if you're matched up against him one-on-one, that a lot of people aren't going to really want that wide receiver that he's locked in battle with on Sunday on their fantasy football team?
I think when you look at this football player right here, all you got to do is look at the past LSU football history and the guys that they put out, both at the wide receiver position and at the cornerback position. You just mentioned one, Tyrone Matthew, the Honey Badger. LSU, for some reason, they should have won 3 or 4 national championships, but he playing at a school that's playing at a high level. Basically, they produce some pros. So I think with this young man get to the pro, I think he's going to be an excellent football player, and I don't think you're going to have to worry about him. The film is there on him. The young man came over from Virginia Tech, and he said the reason he didn't go into the draft last year and he came to LSU, you want to know why? He said the best talent. He wanted to go against the best. So the mic has dropped on Mr. Delane. Hell of a football player, and I like him as a corner. Back to you, Brian.
Joey, your final thoughts on Mansoor Delane? And I mean, you already said wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 10 pick, but Vincent says first guy off the board. You think with the combine and everything, he's got a chance to maybe do that in April?
Well, I think he meant the first corner off the board, which I would, I couldn't disagree with at this point. I just hadn't seen enough of everybody else to be confident in that. But what I do know is this kid is super talented. He will blow the combine away with his change of direction, and then the tape again with the physicality he plays with his ability to punch guys and run with them, to stay in phase down the field on deep balls. Would I be surprised if he's the first corner off the board? Absolutely not. He has all the traits to be the first corner off the board.
All right, gentlemen. Well, if there's nothing else, that's been our breakdown of both Mansoor Delane and Fernando Mendoza. Draft is about 6 months away, you guys. So we got a couple months left of actual football. And then once you get to the end of February and everyone starts missing it, we're going to start breaking everybody down and we're going to start trying to figure out who fits where. But I think, especially in Delane's case, I think some teams can be very, very happy come April that he's going to be anchoring their defensive backfield. Fernando Mendoza has a chance to really shoot up draft boards, kind of depending on what all the other quarterbacks are doing. We've had some guys climb, some guys fall, but this has been our prospect preview show for 100 Yards of Football. We got Vincent Turner, Joey Clinkscales. I'm Brian LeBel. We'll be back at it again, same time next week.